Welcome to TMZ Live. Lindsay Lohan is saying something really interesting, looking back on her very troubled years as a young woman. Really troubled, if you remember, drunk driving arrests, drug problems, insanity on sets, just bad behavior. And she has righted the ship. I mean, what Lindsay Lohan has done is really remarkable over the last 4 or 5 years, where she is not only stabilized, she's thriving. You know, she is married with a child. Her acting career is back. She looks great. She's sober. Her life has been reset. But she just did an interview with Vogue Arabia. And what she said in this, especially having covered her, you know, during this whole troubled time, I think is really fascinating. She says, "I should have listened to my mom and dad and moved back to New York, but I was young and wanted to be in LA, and I didn't know." She goes on to say, "So yeah, while a lot of it was fun, it was hard when I was young. It was a double-edged sword. Now I look back and wonder, and this is the key, why didn't anyone just go and take me out there, protect me more? You don't know how to do that yourself when you're a teenager." I find this really interesting because part of it was when she was a teenager, but part of it when she was
in her 20s.
She was in her 20s.
Yeah. But she's like essentially saying her parents, she should have listened to them, but when she didn't, they should have just come and gotten her and taken her home back to New York.
But you've been here from the beginning.
I've been here the whole time, yeah.
And that I don't understand, because Lindsay Lohan's parents were maybe worse off than her.
Yes.
They were crazy.
They were fighting a lot. They were going through a divorce.
There were police calls. There were arrests. I mean,
it was chaotic. I don't know if they could have helped her.
But how could they help her? They couldn't help.
They probably couldn't.
They couldn't help themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, the reason I want to talk to you about this is you were there, and the idea that she's looking back and saying, "Yeah, my parents could have helped me."
I think maybe now, because she's a mom, she's like, they should have tried harder to do something else and like maybe forgot about their parents and put her first.
How do parents do better for their kids when they can't do better for themselves?
Well, I guess she's trying to break the cycle. So she's saying that she's now, because she moved to Dubai, she changed her life, she's doing better for her son.
Oh, she is?
Yes, but she's saying that her parents should have been bigger enough to do that for her. But
they weren't capable.
They weren't, I know. I don't.
So then it leads you to this. Yeah, she was a teenager when she started, but then she was an adult.
Yeah.
And adults don't always go off that way.
No, they don't. Remember she put like bad words on her fingernails?
Yeah.
When she went to court?
I totally remember.
And it was like, what are you doing?
And you've got people who remember some of the movies that she was doing where they were saying.
Yes. Jane Fonda was like pretty mad. Was it Jane Fonda? I think it was Jane Fonda who was pretty mad about the Georgia Rules movie.
Georgia Rules was a disaster.
That was really bad.
And so, you know, it's sort of like, listen, I love that she's doing better. There are no better stories than people who can reset their lives like this. But at the same time, it's sort of like, there's just, and I don't even want to call it accountability. It's just awareness that you are an adult and, you know, and
you're responsible for your own decisions.
You're responsible for your own decisions.
Your parents.
And your parents can't control what you do when you're in.
She also acted like a maniac in New York. Remember, we used to get her out in New York, and she was doing the same stuff.
Remember, she was driving drunk when she was at that nightclub.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to trash her in this, but if Dina Lohan were stable back then, or Michael was stable back then, and they would have looked at her and said, "Lindsay, you've got to stop drinking. Lindsay, you've got to stop doing drugs. You've got to be more responsible on the set." What would she have said?
No.
No. And what could they do about it?
Nothing.
Exactly. So it's sort of like when you want to look back, it's just weird to me that this is the way she's looking back, that if only my parents would have protected me.
Yeah.
She was an adult.
I know. Yes, you're right.
I want you to argue. I want you to fight me.
How am I going to argue? It's true. There's nothing they could have done. They were not capable of helping themselves.
I know. Anyway, I just found this really fascinating. And
I thought what was fascinating to me is that she said that her new look is because of drinking green juice and lots of Pilates. And I'm like, come on.
And a doctor in New York.
She looks good.
She does.
Nicki here from Los Angeles. Listen, my favorite saying is two things can be true at the same time. So yes, I believe you're not responsible for the trauma in your childhood, but you are responsible what you do after that. But at the same time, as a child, you're not asked to be born into this world. And her parents had one job. And it's not easy to be a parent. There's no guidebook, but their job was to protect her. Instead, they kind of threw her in the limelight. And this is the life that Lindsay Lohan knew. I do like that she is now kind of taking accountability a little bit and maybe looking back. But I'm not mad at her for holding her parents accountable because that was their one job. One job. You don't have kids then.
You know what? And I look, I agree with you, and I'm not trying to say she's not. I get it that parents should be able to guide their kids, but when she looks back and she sees what her parents were like then, it's not realistic. And their dad right now, I mean, there's this thing back and forth still years later. So I just don't understand what she would have expected from them and whether she would have listened even if they were stable, seriously.
I was saying I do agree with that as well. I think also, like, as I've gotten older, I'm in a position where I now look back at my parents who are in their early 20s who had me. And I think it's about forgiveness. And I think that's what she has to do to kind of move forward. And I think her parents also wanted the fame. I mean, we've seen Michael Lohan on Real Housewives. We've seen Dina, you know what I'm saying? But I'm proud of Lindsay because as a millennial, I was there when she was outside.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of how far she's come. But I agree with you as well. So that's why I always say two things can be true at the same time.
This is a real Hollywood story. Lisa Rinna was mortal enemies with Andy Cohen. And this was after Andy Cohen revealed private text messages between Lisa, who was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and Andy in his memoir. And she was so enraged, she actually took his book and threw it in her fireplace and watched it explode in flames. Well, guess what? Now Lisa has a book. Now she has a memoir. And what do you do to promote your memoir? You go on the show of your mortal enemy and you make nice and kind of yuck it up.
My publishing a couple text messages that really pissed you off, text messages from you that I put in my book, The Daddy Diaries, pissed you off so much that you burned my book in your fireplace. Yes. Now, I want to say two things. First of all, I said this to you when I saw you at the Traders reunion.
Yes.
I apologize for publishing those texts.
And you apologized to me in that moment, and it meant the world.
And I had all these reasons for doing it, and then when I really thought about it, I was like, oh wait, you got to apologize. So I'm sorry. But
thank you.
You are so extra that you burn the freaking book.
I am.
I mean,
I'm so extra.
Did it burn easily? You put it in the fireplace?
It did.
It did?
Yes, and it was so beautiful to watch your book go up in flames. Andy, it's an honor.
It's so Hollywood. I mean, it is just the quintessential Hollywood. So there's something more serious that she mentioned that she was on the Traders, and there was an incident during the Traders reunion at a bar in West Hollywood not too long ago, a week or two ago. And Lisa says she was roofied. And her husband, I actually spoke with Harry Hamlin, and he told me the same thing. He took her out of there. It sounds like they went to a hospital because Lisa was on Good Day New York, and the way she describes it, it sounds like they went to the ER.
You thought that maybe you were roofied at the party?
Yes, I was.
You know that for certain?
Well, I do.
Did you take like a test or something?
I did.
Do you know what it was?
I had fentanyl in my system.
What?
Yes, I'm not kidding. I had fentanyl, high levels of amphetamines and other things, but I can't talk a lot about it because we're still dealing with it. It was leaked, and my team is dealing with it now.
Well, when she says, I can't talk about it now, this sounds like a lawsuit.
That's what I was thinking, like that she's gonna get a lawyer and they're telling her not to talk about it. I mean, it is crazy. I mean, fentanyl, we know she was at the party in West Hollywood. There is a fentanyl problem in the country, so.
Well, it sounds like she clearly went to the ER because the only way they would know.
They would have a test result of this. But yeah, I mean, when she was at this party, our understanding of it is, because we broke this story, is that she was basically had to be taken out. Like she could not stand.
Well, I
They
talked to
had
Harry,
Yeah.
and Harry said absolutely true.
Yeah.
Harry said she was drugged.
Yeah.
Harry said she was absolutely drugged. And so it sounds like when she's talking about her team, she's talking about a legal team.
Yep.
So honestly, this sounds like a lawsuit. But fentanyl, that is
Serious. It's very
that's
serious.
that's the most alarming part. I mean, she's lucky she's alive.
Yep.
Hi, my name is Nina. I'm from Chicago, and I'm honestly not surprised that Andy and Lisa's relationship recovered. She's always been an icon on The Housewives. They have a lot of shared history together and have a mutually beneficial relationship that way. I think her popularity on The Traitors also probably contributes to that. I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted her back on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, as I think most of us do. In regards to the premiere party, I've seen a lot of talk online. Some people even don't necessarily believe Lisa because she's just a bold, headline-making personality. I'm more inclined to believe it. It's such a serious allegation, and she says her team is working through it. We'll have to see how that all plays out, as there were confirmed drugs in her system.
It does not sound like this is over.
Coming up.
Congratulations to Jonathan Majors. He is back shooting movies. He is shooting a movie in South Carolina right now. I talked to him this morning, and he was going to come on TMZ Live to talk about the film. His agent at the William Morris Endeavor Agency said, "Oh, no, bad idea, don't do it."
Be right back.
Congratulations to Jonathan Majors. He is back shooting movies. He is shooting a movie in South Carolina right now. This is after a 4-year kind of not self-imposed hiatus, after the trial with his ex-girlfriend. I'm going to say it again. Jonathan Majors got screwed by Hollywood because he won that trial. If you remember, his ex-girlfriend said that Jonathan had assaulted her in a vehicle, inside a vehicle in the back seat. I think it was an Uber. And, when they got in the car, you see him kind of push her in. They didn't prosecute him for the little pushing in. That was not what this case was about. It was about whether he assaulted her inside the vehicle. The jury voted unanimously not guilty, that he did not do it. This is after the Uber driver testified, others testified, and the jury said it didn't happen. They convicted him because he did kind of push her into the cab. That's never why, not at all why, he was prosecuted. He won that case, but Hollywood is so skittish that they basically banished him. He's back, and he's a big star, and I gotta say, I always thought that Hollywood screwed him. And so he is back shooting this movie. It's really interesting. He's shooting it with, the Daily Wire is producing it, and they have produced other movies where people have been kind of in similar situations. Gina Carano, they did a movie with her. The Daily Wire is a conservative outlet. And I think that it's not an accident that the Daily Wire is one of the producers of this film. I think there is kind of a reaction to this, hyper, as some people would call it, wokeness in Hollywood. The guy won the case. And if you ask the prosecutors privately, they would acknowledge that. So here's the thing. Jonathan Majors, I talked to him this morning, and he was going to come on TMZ Live to talk about the film and to talk about how great it is to be back and all. His agent at the William Morris Endeavor Agency said, "Oh, no, bad idea, don't do it." And I just think that, as soon as I heard it, I just laughed. And I said, "Jonathan, I want to talk about this." And he was cool with me talking about it. But it's just so funny the way this town works. Agents, I think, are so tone deaf to the realities of Hollywood and the world. And, the idea of Jonathan Majors coming on and, talking about how good it is to be back in the movie business. Especially, look, he knows how I feel about this case because I talked about this case before. I think it's great that he's back. I don't think he should have left. And the William Morris Endeavor Agency said, "Oh, no, don't do it." These are not people who understand media. They may understand television, they may understand film, but they have such a lack of knowledge of the way media works. And I just wanted to kind of share that with you because we don't talk about it that much, but it just seems so absurd to me. And he kind of just threw his hands up because, he doesn't want to piss off his agency, but so tone deaf, so ridiculous.
It's interesting, as you said, it's something of inside baseball, but there is something to be said.
Oh, I don't think this is inside baseball. I think it affects Jonathan.
Well, it does affect Jonathan. The fans want him back. His firing, as you said, had huge repercussions. I mean, Marvel had to rework everything when they let him go, and they let him go immediately. People are excited about this role. I have to assume his agent is worried that if we get him back in the press too soon, it's going to dredge up some sort of bad, some sort of bad juju maybe. But they want him back. He is back. Let him come on and promote it. Let us help him celebrate this moment.
Or how about just, hey, Jonathan Majors can talk about what it feels like to be back. That's a good story.
That's a great story, and I think a lot of people would like to hear it.
Hey, William Morris Endeavor. That's a good story.
Johnny Benitez, Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, if Jonathan was found innocent, it's really disappointing. But a lot of the time with headlines and how people work, they just see those headlines and they never actually look too deep into it. And I know they say, like, statistically speaking, when people see things written in a form like to be taken serious, like in a news kind of format, they just automatically believe it. So now that he's found innocent, it could be very difficult. And we are in a social media age, and there's a lot of people now that actually want to get the full story, and people are more transparent. There's streamers now. They're like all these people now that are being so transparent, and I think they just kind of want to see the full story. And since he's innocent, I guess he does have a right to express it and talk about how good he is and how good it feels to be back.
Yeah, you speak the truth. We broke this story about Martin Short's daughter, Catherine, dying on Monday of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It is a terrible tragedy. And we have some insights now into Catherine and her journey and her troubled journey through life. One of the interesting things was in 2012, she wrote a petition up to change her name from Catherine Elizabeth Short to Catherine Elizabeth Hartley. And that was odd because we were trying to figure out where did this name Hartley come from? And we couldn't figure it out. The family had issued a statement referring to Hartley as her middle name, but in this name change petition, it doesn't list it as her middle name. Her middle name is Elizabeth. So she gave an explanation as to why she wanted to change her name. Now, Catherine was a social worker, had a lot of mental struggles, but was basically her life revolved around helping others who had mental struggles, and she was a social worker. So she said this, my father is a public figure. I am a psychiatric social worker. I am concerned about potential harassment from future patients resulting from my association with my father. Odd, the word harassment there. And it's unclear what she meant by it, but she wanted to change her name to Catherine Elizabeth Hartley. And the judge approved that in 2013. But again, potential harassment from future patients resulting from my association with my father. So we did some digging, and she seemed to be interacting fine with her dad. They were at an Oscars party, 2011, which was just a year before the Vanity Fair Oscar party. And they were together over the years. So it's just unclear what she meant by that. The other thing that we are told, we knew the other day that she had talked about mental struggles from time to time. We spoke with somebody who is very familiar with the family, the entire family. And Catherine, we're told, has had profound struggles with mental illness since childhood. So this isn't something that just developed, while she was treating patients where she felt overwhelmed. Somebody yesterday told us she felt the burden of the world sometimes, given her job. But this apparently went much deeper and longer than we knew before.
Coming up.
I can't pretend this isn't ridiculous. So I'm just gonna wear it out on my sleeve if I had a sleeve. There is a woman named Gabriella Carifa Johnson. She was taking a flight and she was in first class. She posted something after the flight, and here's what she said.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Phoebe Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too. Did you just say look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at.
I can't pretend this isn't ridiculous. So I'm just gonna wear it out on my sleeve if I had a sleeve. But this is ridiculous. Okay, there is a woman named Gabriella Carifa Johnson. She is 34 years old. She was taking a flight. We think it was either American Airlines or Emirates, and she was in first class. And there were only 6 seats in first class. She posted something after the flight, and here's what she said. In a cabin of 6, 5 of the passengers were white, middle-aged men. Then there was me, a 30-something black woman who travels in that cabin often, and a male flight attendant who thought I'd be okay with substandard service and persistent microaggression from the moment I sat down. He was wrong. I don't suffer fools, and I would sacrifice physical comfort to protect my emotional and mental well-being any day. So she downgrades herself, oh, the humanity, to business class so that she doesn't have to suffer in silence.
In all honesty, this doesn't even make sense because personally, if you're going
But
to
she believes this.
She believes it wholeheartedly. In the comments you can tell, but if you're going to downgrade yourself because you're surrounded by white men, white powerful men, personally, I've flown in business class a lot, and you know what's in there? A lot of white powerful men that look like. So I don't understand what her argument is, what her reason is. You're not interacting with these people in the cabin.
That's the point.
You sit in your seat, you put on your headphones, you watch your movie, you get your champagne, you get your free meal with the glass cutlery, and you enjoy your flight. You don't even have to talk to the 5 white men that are in the cabin.
Not only not talk to them, you don't even see them because in a lot of
True.
these, a lot of these
I
planes,
didn't even think about that.
yeah, in a lot of these planes, you just have seats. Here you have pods.
Yeah, it's like the big walls that block you.
So when you're in your seat, you don't even see the other people.
As a black woman, I really want to be on her side. I love to take up for black people, but in this scenario,
this hurts. This hurts the cause.
I'm not going to go that far to say it hurts the cause. It just doesn't make sense for the cause. I'll never say it hurts the cause.
But it's ridiculous.
But it is ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. Like, girl, it just sounds like very, like, nose up in the air.
And then, I mean...
Like, the men didn't even say anything to you. What do you mean the flight attendant was past? Like, microaggression? Microaggression how? He served the guy in 1A, had the champagne before you in 3B?
Persistent microaggression and substandard service. Can I just say, this woman is a nightmare. This woman is a nightmare. If she's trashing the flight attendant
I would just want to know what her definition of substandard and microaggressions are, because again, if she's getting mad that the white man in 1A or 2B got their champagne or their food before her and she's in seat 6, because she said she's a 6th one, that's not a microaggression. That's them going down the line.
And by the way, she's not in seat 6. She's in, there are probably 2 rows of 3.
Yeah, I can't get with this
It
one.
is ridiculous.
Whew.
Yolanda, Montebello, California. And we know she's exhausting. She's absolutely exhausting, but she should at least say what happened so that we can believe her. She probably just was being annoying because she is annoying.
She was being annoying because she is annoying. I buy that.
Coming up.
So the breakout star of Heated Rivalry, there is a buzz that Connor Storrie may be cast as the new version of Patrick Swayze in the reboot of Dirty Dancing.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. So the breakout star of Heated Rivalry, which is one of the biggest shows on streaming in a long, long time, about 2 gay hockey players who are on opposing teams who find each other and develop a romance. This show is everywhere now. And Connor Storrie went from being a waiter at 26 years old to a huge star. He has new roles. His co-star Hudson Williams has new roles, but there is a buzz that Connor Storrie may be cast as the new version of Patrick Swayze in the reboot of Dirty Dancing. So let's go to a side-by-side here. First of all, they look very similar. I think they have similar vibe.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Here's the thing, and I say this as a gay man who has always railed against this notion that only gays should play gay people, and because it doesn't make sense, and then all of a sudden they can't play straight people anymore. But in this case, he is so typecast as a gay hockey player to a point where the audience doesn't distinguish between real life and the show. And I don't know how he would break that, at least now, especially when they're going to be doing more heated rivalry seasons. I don't know how he breaks that.
And I think that what you're talking about, they kind of do on purpose, this blurred line between the show and reality, with them not really revealing their sexuality and everything.
Who they're dating.
All that. Are they dating each other? All that sort of stuff. It's kind of like works against them a little bit in the sense that it helps, typecast him into that sort of role. So I hate to say that sort of thing too, because I think that anybody can play anything, but I can't help, especially with the onslaught of this show, which is a great show, but boy, is it out there, to not be able to picture it. You know what I mean?
And not just picture it now, but when you go to the movies, you have so cemented your view of Connor Storrie that he's carried forward after the show itself in real life and interviews and things like that, that it's hard to think of him in a role like that.
Yeah, especially when you don't really know what his sexuality is, because he hasn't come out about it specific, but there's writing on the wall.
Well, they've pretty much said it. There are all these stories out that he's dating one of the co-stars, not Hudson Williams, who turns out to be straight, because he was hiding that he was straight for a long time and trying to mask it. Finally, on Valentine's Day, he came out and said, "This is my girlfriend." And so that's the first time he's really done that. But the weird thing about the show is that the show is about how hiding those secrets can be so torturous, and that when you are open about who you are, that it's freeing. And that's the premise of the show. But in real life, they're hiding it.
Exactly.
In real life, they're hiding the exact thing.
As a PR strategy.
As a PR strategy.
Can we talk about how fabulous it is that they're doing another Dirty Dancing?
Yeah, no, it's great. They're going to have Jennifer Grey in some way.
No, she's like the executive producer. She's coming back. And the reason that a lot of people believe that Connor Storrie is being cast is because she started following him on social media. And when people also put together how much he looks like the Patrick Swayze role, and it's unsure what role he would be, and what their relationship would be. She's probably like more the mentor, or who knows. But I can't wait for the movie, no matter who it is.
Yeah, no, but hate to say what we just said, but we said it.
We said it.
Hi, I'm Don. I'm from Chicago. And the only thing that I think about this is if you're going to make a third Dirty Dancing movie, it should just be gay. It desperately, desperately needs to be gay. How are you going to have so many like ballroom influences and not one single gay Dirty Dancing movie? It needs to be gay. It's 2026, gay Dirty Dancing.
Who's baby?
Me.
God. So Nicki Minaj has been dumped by her lawyer. She has been dumped by a lawyer representing her in a civil lawsuit. Nicki is being sued for $10 million by a fan who says that she viciously harassed him. And this lawyer says, can't do it anymore, cannot represent her. She essentially is too difficult a client and will not communicate with him, will not respond to him. And this ain't her first problem with lawyers.
Yeah, so she had another lawyer that was representing her in this case, but he also dropped out late last year. He didn't explain why, but the new lawyer says it's a communication breakdown. They've been trying to reach Nicki for months. and she hasn't been responding to texts or emails.
Yeah, the lawyer that was representing her dropped suddenly, though. So this
Yes.
lawyer who represents the company that is also being sued is saying, I represent the company. I filled in for representing her for a little while, but she's got to find permanent counsel here. And she is not responding to our calls, so I got to withdraw. I got to get out of this case. Judge hasn't signed off yet, but it probably will.
How real is this lawsuit?
I think it's fairly real. She hurled some accusations that
She called the guy a stalker.
Yeah, called the person a stalker or accused him of criminal. Like, if those are falsehoods, that's defamatory, and she
Correct.
has to sort of deal with that.
So he's suing for defamation.
Yes, slander, I believe, was the underlying lawsuit.
So there was something, what was it, where, and I don't even know if it was true or not, but there was something swirling about she might lose her house.
Yeah. So a couple months ago, a creditor who was owed, I think, over $500,000 from her husband beating him up at a concert, allegedly.
And he got a judgment.
Got a default judgment, and then he tried to have the home sold off to collect on the money.
To pay the judgment.
But right before he went to court, she paid him at the final hearing.
So what is she doing here? I mean,
there's a lot going on.
This has nothing to do with MAGA.
It doesn't seem to, not by the documents. It's just they had a communication breakdown. She's not sort of addressing that he has been representing her in a limited capacity. He was willing to do so, but he's not willing to do so anymore. He's saying she's got to get a real lawyer.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the third lawyer is going to say, oh, sure, I'll take the case?
Right. I think she's fairly radioactive to some people at this point.
I believe so as well.
Everybody, Jerry Moylan from West Hollywood. Nicki Minaj has been dumped by her fans too, so this is no big surprise. I think Nicki gets what she deserves. I mean, we're seeing a little bit of a pattern here with the whole thing she did with MAGA and Trump. I know you just said, does this have anything to do with MAGA? But I think it does, because she's pulling a Roseanne Barr. She's destroying her career and making these ridiculous choices that really make no sense. So I'm sure everybody around her is just scratching their heads and saying, what the hell is she doing? She's losing her fans. She's lost her lawyer. She's getting sued. I don't know what these people over in Trump land are doing for her, but it must be something pretty big.
Coming up.
So Harry Styles was on Brittany Broski's podcast and was talking about something that he acknowledges is inappropriate. I gotta say, I don't think this is inappropriate.
What other locations do you think deserve a song?
I really like cremation songs.
Be right back.
So Harry Styles was on Brittany Broski's podcast and was talking about something that he acknowledges is inappropriate. I gotta say, I don't think this is inappropriate, but it has to do with kind of yucking it up at a funeral, a cremation memorial. Here's what Harry had to say, and do not necessarily discount this and say it's inappropriate.
You have a song called Music for a Sushi Restaurant.
Correct.
Question is, what other locations do you think deserve a song?
I really like cremation songs. I remember being at my grandma's funeral, and as the belt started, it just went, the long and winding road, and it made me laugh. It feels so inappropriate, and then, because of how abrupt it was, and then I just started thinking about inappropriate cremation songs.
Yep.
Relight My Fire, for example.
Great.
Burn Baby Burn.
Ring of Fire.
Ring of Fire. And then I was off.
I gotta say, I've been to plenty.
Cremation gatherings?
But I've been to everything. And, you know, over the course of my lifetime, with all the things that happened, a lot. And the ones that are the most impactful are the ones where people remember good things about the person. And if there's fun involved, to resurrect the fun. And as irreverent as that is, I don't know that it's necessarily even inappropriate, depending on who it is. I mean, I know people who have died who are hilarious. And the idea of having this I remember going to this one funeral that was so solemn, and it was very religious and so solemn. I remember walking out thinking, that's the most depressing thing. And this person was really great.
So you're more about like celebration of life, like laughing, having a toast in their honor.
Yeah, I mean, and it's sort of like the person is gone. So it's not like, you're that's why a casket, it's like you're fixated on something that is not that person.
Yeah.
It's a shell. And the idea of mourning over not that person is weird to me. And a cremation kind of acknowledges that. And I think it allows people to have fun and to remember the person for the joy and not just the sadness.
And Harry was very close with his grandmother. He did do a post at the time about her passing. And I think everyone shows grief a little differently. And if he had a little chuckle over the sounds that he heard, I think it's okay.
You just actually reminded me of something.
What?
One of the funniest things I have ever seen on television was on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, when there was somebody at her television station, Chuckles the Clown, and Chuckles the Clown died. And Mary was trying to be very solemn and proper, telling all the people they needed to show respect. And somebody went up to do the eulogy about, Chuckles sitting on a whoopee cushion.
Oh, God.
And then Mary's character just loses it sitting there. And it is so funny. And I remember seeing it and saying, that's the way Chuckles would have wanted it. That's the way Chuckles would have wanted it.
Most likely.
Coming up.
Cardi B, who has kind of dipped her toe in political waters in the past, she is taking a stand on the Texas Senate race. This is a big deal.
Be right back.
Okay, a couple things about Cardi B. First of all, we told you she had a fit when she was doing SNL, when she found out that during Weekend Update, they were going to tell a joke about Nicki Minaj and MAGA. And she threatened not to do the show if the joke was in. She smashed a monitor, apparently through a phone, at one of the monitors and broke it. She was enraged. The folks over at SNL say she was having a bad day and that she is invited back and will be invited back at some point, and no hard feelings there. Second thing is Cardi B, who has kind of dipped her toe in political waters in the past, she is taking a stand on the Texas Senate race. This is a big deal. Jasmine Crockett and James Tellerico are both formidable candidates for the Democratic Party in the primary next month. Cardi has thrown her support behind Jasmine Crockett. This is a big deal because Jasmine is in Congress right now, so she's giving up her seat to run. If she loses to Tellerico, who is in the state assembly, she will lose her position in government. So everything's on the line for Jasmine Crockett, and Cardi B has decided that is who she is going to support.
Listen up, y'all. Early primary voting is happening right now in Texas, and we need Jasmine Crockett to win. She is running for U.S. Senate, and if you want somebody that's going to fight for your right, if you want somebody to fight for your community, if you want somebody that's going to go up there and represent you and represent your issues, please vote for my sister Jasmine Crockett. Because one thing about it, she's gonna fight her best. She's gonna fight whoever she has to, so your voice and your problems could be heard.
There are actually a lot of people who like both of them. So it's unclear who's ahead in this race right now, but it's probably the race to watch next month.
Hey guys, my name's Lucas. I'm from the Adirondacks in upstate New York. And honestly, when it comes to the Cardi B situation, with her flipping out and everything in SNL, I think I think that's a big win for Nicki Minaj, because if anybody can say your name and you get that triggered, that just means the other person's winning. You know what I mean? It shows a lot of emotional, not a lot of emotional intelligence for you to flip out and punch a screen and throw phones and threaten people that you're going to leave. It just shows a lot of entitlement.
Oh, I think you nailed it when you said that it just shows that Nicki Minaj gets to her. She absolutely does. What else do you guys want to talk about?
Well, my name is Heather Overstreet, and I'm from Missouri. And that story on Vogue where that lady was on the plane complaining about microaggressions, my first response when I was reading that story was, first off, how are you going to get on social media and complain about a microaggression in the first place? Secondly, how am I supposed to read that story and not think that you are racist? And third, how are you going to talk about a microaggression and not explain what happened?
I'm not arguing with you on any of those points. One more.
Hi, I'm Carly DeVille from Austin, Texas. And honestly, Lisa Rinna burning Andy's memoir is the most Lisa Rinna thing she's ever claimed to do, because I'm not sure I'd buy it. Show me the ashes. She definitely knows how to pitch a very dramatic visual, and I think that's what this was.
You may be right, but it's fun just to see her like in a nightgown doing that, right?
I love it.
Coming up.
RFK Jr. is super polarizing. There is no doubt about that, whichever side you're on. But he did something, I gotta say, whichever side you fall on with him, you gotta kind of love this.
Be right back.
Okay, RFK Jr. is super polarizing. There is no doubt about that, whichever side you're on. But he did something, I gotta say, whichever side you fall on with him, you gotta kind of love this.
Introducing the Secretary Kennedy action figure. With chronic disease running rampant, President Trump is sending one man.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Watch out. Red 40 is in your kid's lunch. Quick, increase your strength with real whole milk.
Wow, it's full of protein and healthy fats.
Oh no, the food pyramid puts Fruit Loops at the top.
My message is clear: eat real food.
I am personally alarmed at some of the things he said about vaccines. But you can't really argue with this. I mean, the fact that people should be eating real foods and not processed foods, it's not really debatable. I think it's going to get kids' attention where, you know, a PSA from some boring narrator wouldn't. So on this one, I'm giving it to RFK Jr. We'll see you tomorrow.